Welcome to In Her Voice. My name is Kelly Covert, and I am passionate about helping women live authentically by listening to their inner voice. Get ready to be inspired by women of all walks of life that have set aside their should-bes and not good enoughs and are standing in their true voice, the voice of wisdom that each and every one of us has inside. Hey you guys, this is Kelly, and I am so excited that you decided to press play today because man, do I have a good one for you. I've got Bianca Mastrototaro on the show today, and we're going to talk about creating an enchanted living space that reflects and aligns with your soul. And it's so good. This is such a good conversation because it really brings everything together. We spend so much time doing inner work, and oftentimes our surroundings are not reflective of that inner work. And this is really about how to take your living space to that next level in a way that will continuously nurture and feed your soul. It's like this beautiful cycle. So good. Before we get to the interview, I want to remind you that this and all episodes of In Her Voice are sponsored by Beauty Counter. And every week this month, I have a featured product. And these are all my absolute favorites. And you'll see a theme. Last week was the cleansing balm. This week is another of my very favorite skincare items, and it is the Overnight Resurfacing Peel. And I love anything that's going to make my skin feel smooth and make it look glowy. And this does the trick. It's so easy to use. You just wash your face and then you put a couple of squirts on, spread it around, and literally go to bed. That's all you do. And when you wake up in the morning, it's like you have new skin. It works with fruit botanical acids, and it smells so good. And you can always be assured that anything that is coming to you from Beauty Counter is safe and effective. So this is perfect for any type of skin. It doesn't matter what kind of skin you have. This works. I haven't met one person who has used it who didn't love it. So if you're interested in learning more about the Overnight Resurfacing Peel, you can click the link in your podcast app or go to the show notes at kellycovert.com, or you can go right to the Beauty Counter website at kellycovert.com/beauty. And remember, when you purchase anything, not just my favorite products, but anything through my link, you are directly supporting In Her Voice and the message that I am putting out into the world, that women are worthy and that women deserve to take care of themselves, both inside and outside. And that brings us to Bianca, talking about taking care of yourself. When you really start to align your living space with how you feel in the inside, or vice versa. Maybe sometimes it starts with your living space. Maybe that needs to get clean and clear in order for you to feel clean and clear from your soul space. Either way, it's a beautiful, just holistic way of caring for yourself, of practicing listening to your inner voice. And oh my Lord, what a beautiful form of self-care taking care of your living space is. Let me tell you a little bit more about Bianca. She is a home, body, and soul shaman, and she is the one-woman show behind her business, Enchanted Living Spaces. She originally started her business working with energy through the home using elemental space clearing and feng shui, which I totally dig, but she realized that working with the body and soul is so essential because your home, body, and soul must be aligned in order for true manifestation of the life you desire to occur. Yes. All three elements are key to enhancing your self-worth, releasing limiting beliefs and old traumas, and developing a brand new energy that aligns with the life you truly want. And she is here to help you accomplish that. And you guys, she has so many great ideas. I can tell you, after I recorded this interview, I totally redid my whole bedroom. I like moved all of the furniture around all by myself. One day while my husband was on a bike ride, I just was like, I just have to do it right now. And I got a new floor and I cleaned up a bunch of stuff. And it really makes so much sense when you think about it. So I want you to sit back. I want you to relax and enjoy this really awesome conversation with Bianca Mastrototaro. Bianca Mastrototaro, welcome to In Her Voice. I'm so glad you're here with us today.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be talking to you.
Oh my gosh, me too. I'm like totally psyched about this interview because what you really help people do is create an exterior, like in their home, in their living spaces, in the place they inhabit, that reflects their interior, their soul, and their inner workings, if you will. And I think that this is so fascinating and interesting to me. And before we dive into how we can do that, I'd really be interested to know how you found yourself to be doing this kind of work.
Well, I actually went to college for software engineering, and
which I can't I can't even think of something that would be further from this.
I know, right? And I know that this is going to be something that we were going to talk about later, but really when I was, a teen and in my early 20s, I was thinking, what's going to get me out of this environment? And that was money. Living with my family. So that was my original drive, but still surrounding my environment. So after I graduated and I was working as an intern, I got this overwhelming feeling that this couldn't happen for me. Like this was not where I was supposed to be, and I should be helping people. And that was my original plan, was to create iOS applications on an iPhone to make women's lives easier. But I don't know. So it was like a weird series of things that had happened. I was not spiritual at all. And somehow I stumbled upon Marie Forleo, which led me to Gabby Bernstein, which led me to Hay House. And I just went, up this spiritual this spiral. And I saw Feng Shui, and I saw Space Clearing from Denise Lin. And I was like, I just got this feeling I had never got before, like whole body chills and like a full body yes, that this is my next step. So I quit being a software engineer and I fully dived into my business. And I started my business with homes energy, and that is still the core of my business. But from there, I just really felt after that your home, not just your home needs to be in alignment, but your inner world needs to be in alignment too. So if you really want to create a life that you feel like you deserve, because sometimes we get into this thing where it's like, I'm a good person, I do the right things, like I'm nice, and I'm trying so hard to create this life that I want, and it's just not happening. So why is that? Mm-hmm. And I really believe that the answer lies within the subconscious of your home and within the subconscious of your soul.
Okay, so much there. Super interesting. Let's start with what you mean when you say in alignment. And so you spoke of two things: having your soul in alignment, your inner environment in alignment, and your home in alignment. Can you dig into those for us?
Absolutely. At the end of the day, really what alignment means, for me at least, is what is it you really want? What is it you really want in life? Because most of the time it's something we're working our way towards, with our goals or our spirituality. And for a lot of people, it's unconditional love. For a lot of people, it's financial freedom. So with that said, if you dig down even deeper and further into that, what is it that is out of alignment with that vision that you have? And most of the time we don't even know it because it's suppressed, right? So what is it that you can really fix, I feel, in your home environment first, to take away your blocks in your home first, and then move your way inward?
So what do you, in your work, and I imagine that often you do face-to-face work in people's homes and with them. And then I don't know, I'm guessing this is probably something that you can do virtually as well. But what are some of those home blocks that you see that sort of reflect these personal blocks that keep people from living the life that they most want?
Number one thing is clutter. Hands down. Not wanting to let go of certain items that pertain to themselves. I find this a lot with women, and I hope I'm not being offensive when I say this, but we should really love ourselves no matter what size we are and no matter how we look, without comparison to the past. I don't know how many women that I have met that have, skinny clothes that were from years ago, and they have this ambition to let go of the excess weight. What life happens, and sometimes we end up gaining weight, and that is perfect, and they are still perfect how they are. But it's just a symbol that they don't love and accept themselves at that moment, and that they are not perfect at that moment. So there's a lot of hidden things within your home that just relate back to self-worth. I see a lot of books too, from women who are trying to find love. They're trying to find their soulmate, but there's a lot of books around, or decorations too, of single women, or the word titles in their books are offensive to men. Like, I've seen a book where it's like the single woman's guide to finding a man, and that still has the single woman message radiating out energetically throughout your home. Never mind the decorations of just the single woman.
Mm-hmm. I've heard this before, by the way. I find this to be so fascinating. So many women who are looking for love, if you walk into their house, you'll see a painting of a single woman on the wall, or a statue of a single woman. And that's really sending a message out to your subconscious of what you're wanting, or what you're putting out into the universe as wanting, even though it's not, like you say, aligned with what you say you desire.
Absolutely. And the thing is, you constantly kind of have to update your environment, because say that woman just got out of a relationship and she really wants to grow her self-confidence, her self-worth, and do some stuff for herself. That would be a time where she would have empowering females, perhaps, goddesses throughout her house that stand strong by themselves. But over time, if the new desire is to bring in another soul into your life, then your environment has to change.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So clutter is one. Cool. What else?
Clutter. One more thing I wanted to bring up too is sometimes when you're trying to attract someone, but you don't have space for them. For example, if you want to bring in another soul into your life, but you don't have any room because your closet's so jam-packed in your master bedroom, there's no space to bring in anyone else. So you have to create the space for the desire to come in. Keeping things, memorabilia from the past. I was actually working with my mom for a while in her home, decluttering it. And Kelly, oh my goodness, I found like 30 or 40 love letters from past relationships, including a picture of my father underneath her bed.
Oh,
I'm like, girl, like, no wonder you're not finding anyone. This is a sacred space, and you're just, that's the thing. Like, if you are done with that aspect of your life, with those relationships, you need to get that stuff out of your house.
why do you think we hold on to that?
I think a lot of the times that we hold on to things because it was a better time, according to us.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so some of her relationships, for example, was in her, teenage years. And I feel like a lot of people kind of hold on to that because during that time, the concentration was a very fire stage in life. So a lot of socialization, a lot of going out and doing things, a lack of responsibility because, you're still living with your parents, and all these fun times, as opposed to, and this is unfortunate that this does happen, but as we age, we tend to shift from the fire element phase of the teenage years into an earth element phase, which is really nesting, and it's building this home and potentially having kids and getting married and getting really grounded, and a lot of that stuff goes away. A lot of that fire, that socialization, that feeling like you're invincible and on top of the world. And I think that a lot of people, including myself sometimes, really miss that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what's coming up for me is this, is the difference between being really present and living in the past. And I think that this comes up in so many ways for people. It could, we often think of being stuck in the past as being, like the negative things that hold us back in the past. So maybe we had a really challenging experience or circumstance that we hold on to and we feel victimized by, or we feel that it changed our trajectory. And so that is really holding us back. But what I hear you saying too is even those times that we feel sentimental about, that we miss, that we wish we could go back because it was so fun, or because we felt like a different person when we were doing that also can hold us back.
Absolutely. Because again, like, and it's not like life has to be like this, but we see this. I feel often, especially in the people that I work with their homes, is they're just not happy at the present moment, at the end of the day, or a lot of the times too, a lot more people were alive when we were younger. I've lost a lot of family over the years, and holding on to them, and I'm not saying don't honor them, don't have pictures of them, but when a lot of the things in your home are just things that you're really holding on to because you can't accept something, that becomes a problem. Mm-hmm. Because not only are you not being present, as you said, but also, like, you're just not giving yourself that opportunity to find that joy, that happiness, that love in your life right at this moment. And it is possible, but I just see these people get so wrapped up in the 9 to 5, in the unhappy marriage that they're in, and they just don't want to be present.
Yeah. Well, I think being present requires us to feel the feelings that we're in right now.
Absolutely.
And that can be really challenging. But the beauty of that, and what I would encourage everyone listening to this is to understand, is in order to get past the feelings that maybe we don't welcome, we've got to feel them. We have to work it through, and go through those feelings. If you keep pushing them away by going to the past and reliving that, you're never going to get to the other side of the emotions that you don't want to feel.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I teach this too. It's like really honoring your emotions. And a lot of us suppress the negative. You know, we push it to the side. We say, I don't have time to be sad. I have all these responsibilities. But the thing is, if you are in search for unconditional love and just pure joy and happiness, unfortunately, the emotions work as one whole. So you really have to experience temporarily that grief from the past, that anger from the past, that sadness from the past, and even in the present too, to really open yourself up to experience more of the good. Because if we're denying the negative emotions, we're also denying our capacity for the positive emotions, because they work as a whole.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's so good. Well, so how do we, once we've gotten rid of the clutter that holds us back, that keeps us stuck in the past or is blocking the things that we most desire, what can we do to welcome in what we do want? What do we do to create a space that aligns with those desires? Because I feel like it's more than just getting rid of stuff, I would imagine.
Absolutely. So the first step is really to remove and then to rearrange if you really want to get into feng shui. And then the third step is to add in. So what I do believe is once the clutter is gone and everything that in your home after the clutter really reflects where you want to go in your life, what I really suggest is clearing out the energy in your home, because everything leaves footprints, especially clutter. So there's going to be like this stagnant energy wherever that clutter was. And also emotions, like deep-rooted emotions, grief, anger, sadness, fights, they all tend to stick in your home. So if you ever pay attention to this, if you have a husband or you have a child and you get into fights, it's usually in the same areas in the home, like the kitchen or something like that, because the energy is still circulating that, and you really have to get rid of the past energy in your home. So I would really go around, get rid of all of the energy, and that's what I do also is I'm a home energy clearer. So get rid of that. Replace everything in your home with intention. Like you can go around and pick up an item and say, you know, my intention for this plant, every time I water it, is every time I water it, it's going to grow and expand just like I would love to in my life.
Oh, I love that.
Right. So really placing intention with everything that it is in your home, because that's only going to radiate out that intention. And then after that, I do believe that once your home environment changes, your body tries to meet that energy. So if your home is vibrating at a higher energy, at a higher energetic level, your soul and your body will try and meet that. So sometimes we actually get sick. Sometimes we have suppressed emotions from the past come up. And I notice that a lot whenever I do a home energy clearing, is people will text me and they'll be like, am I supposed to be having a mental breakdown right now? And I'm just like, yes.
It's like
yes,
when
you
when you detox your home, you also detox your soul in a way.
Exactly. And it's just a releasing period. So after you get through that, and it's not about spending money to totally redecorate your home, but it's really asking yourself the questions like, where do I love to be? Like, for example, what's your favorite place in nature? Like, is it the beach? Is it the forest?
Oh, for me, definitely in the mountains by a lake.
Right. Me too. I love that. So how can I bring that that feeling when I'm at the mountains by a lake? How can I bring that feeling into my home?
Yeah.
You know, what are the feelings that you get from being there? It's a calmness, it's a peace, you feel free, you feel expanded. How can I reflect that within my home? And maybe it's repainting. Maybe you need more, sage green colors, or, a darker blue to reflect the lake. And it's just really bringing that feeling into your home so that your home becomes basically your vacation spot.
Yeah, your home becomes where you want to be.
Exactly.
Well, this is so good. I want to go backwards just a little bit to the clearing the energy. So how I do that in my home is with sage. Like, I burn some sage and kind of like waft the smoke around. And I'm not a trained home energy clearer, but I do feel like it makes a difference. And I remember growing up, my mom used to go around and anoint each room with oil. That was her sort of ritual. Whenever we moved into a new house, she felt like, we didn't know who lived there before us. And she would go through and she would anoint each room with oil. Same thing, and set the intention. And it's funny because it isn't until just this moment that I remembered her doing that. And now what it's making me realize is there are lots of ways to do this, and it's really about the intention that you set, like you said. So do you have any recommendations for people who don't live near you and can't invite you in to clear the energy in their home, how they might be able to do that themselves?
Absolutely, yeah. So firstly, you can use sage. What my favorite thing to use, though, when clearing the energy is I have they're called ting shas. So what they are is they're two metal cymbals, and I bang them together. And why that is because it creates a ringing sound. And sage actually won't penetrate through wood, but vibrations will. So if you really want to clear the energy out of your home, you want to be using something that creates a vibration.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's going to really get through everything, and I can actually hear through the cymbals where the energy is stagnated and where it is flowing by the way that it sings. So you can get pretty good at this if you train yourself to hear the vibrations as to what is in flow as opposed to what is stuck. So that is the first step. I do love sage though too, but the second step, just like your mom did, was placing that intention and the energy that you actually want in your home into it. Otherwise, it's more like you have, a dirty vase that has dead flowers in it. So the sage and the energy clearing will, throw away those dead flowers and clean out the vase. But you really want to put in fresh water and fresh flowers back in. So really, you can use a crystal. You can use your hands and just go around the house and add that love, add that intention through your own energetic field, like back into the house.
I love that you're sharing this, because I think sometimes, especially when we get into a little bit of the woo-woo areas, which I love, my listeners know I'm all about that, but I think sometimes people get intimidated and they think, well, I can't do that, or I don't know how to do that. And I think that this is just a good reminder that we are all energetic beings. And whether you think that or not, it's true. And so you really, when you set an intention in a room, that really puts out a certain energy. And I think a good way to describe this is everyone has had an experience where you walk into a room and someone that is there is really grumpy or like in a really angry or bad mood, and you feel that. That's what we mean when we talk about energy. It's there, like it's palpable, like you can tell that someone is on edge, and it can be really contagious. And so I think that acknowledging that we all have that and that we all can do this for ourselves is really, really awesome.
Absolutely. And, everything that you said is absolutely right. We have this ability, and sometimes it's it can be scary. And you're right, it can be intimidating, but if you start to crack yourself open to this and you actually experience and can feel the difference after this, like one of the things I ask my clients is to go into each one of their rooms, close their eyes, and ask their body if their energy level goes up, down, or stays the same. And a lot of the times, the rooms that they spend a lot of time with and they're not even aware of it, their energy goes down.
Interesting.
And it's really paying attention to your body and how you're feeling, because your body will give you all the answers that you're looking for. So if you could really do that and just feel, like a lot of the times, if I'm in a room that makes me really happy, I can feel like this rise in my throat. So I can, but if I go into a room that doesn't make me happy, I feel a sinking in my chest. So you can kind of play around with that. For those.
I'm sorry to interrupt. I was just so excited because this is another practice of connecting with our inner voice. You know, something we can practice on a daily basis. I mean, that is what I am all about, is finding ways to connect more deeply with our source of wisdom. And this is another way to be in tune with that. Like, your body is going to let you know what brings you happiness and what brings you joy and what is an energy drain. And just doing this as we walk through our home each day is a great and like not that difficult or time consuming practice to connect with your inner voice.
Absolutely. And at the end of the day, you really want your energy to be raised in all of the rooms. So if you could just, even item to item, just ask, you know, how does this make me feel? Mm-hmm. And you can declutter like that. Mm-hmm. You can get rid of, items, decor. That's another thing too, Kelly, is like, you might buy a home. Like, I just bought a home last year and it suits my soul, but can I say the same for 5 years from now?
Right.
Because I'm going to change. So it's a continuing process, just like it is to, release the limiting beliefs within ourselves, to release the emotions. Everything is a lifelong journey, but you can do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we clear and then we rearrange. Let's talk about that.
Yes. So feng shui, I believe, is really important. Have you heard of acupuncture?
Mm-hmm. Sure.
So it's basically like acupuncture for your home.
Oh, I've never heard it described like that, but that makes so much sense.
Yes. So finding where chi or energy is blocked in your home and just moving the furniture. And I mean, we can get really, really deep into this. There's 5 elements. I mean, but just for time purposes and simplicity, a couple of things that I would like to bring up is being in an authority position within your bedroom and within your office is huge. So for example, if you are at your desk and you are facing a wall and your back is towards the doorway, if someone walks into your room and you're facing the wall and you can't see them, what position does that put you in? It makes them the authority figure, and it makes you, in a lesser place of authority. So really, you want to be in authority in your home at all times. Another thing with your bedroom, the same thing too. And how do you feel if someone like creeps up behind you? It doesn't feel very good, right?
No.
So you really want to have your desk and your bedroom in such a position that you can see the door at all times, but not be in alignment, like in direct alignment with the door. Feng shui is, there's so many things that we could talk about, but being in alignment with the door creates rushing chi. So what that means is you kind of got to think about it like the wind, right? If the wind gust was blowing into your doorway, out into your office, what is the first thing that the wind would hit? And that would be your desk, right? If it was in the position just adjacent to the door. Mm-hmm. So what that would create is anxiety, overwhelm. You'd feel uncomfortable. So you really just want to create, with feng shui, proper placement, but also, and what I'm talking about now is Tibetan black hat feng shui. But another thing that I learned from Native American feng shui is just, what colors and what decorations really make you happy. If we can look at feng shui like same thing with all of the objects in our home, is what truly makes our soul sing. Mm-hmm. And we did talk about the mountains and, how can you bring in more nature into your home? How can you just elevate your environment? But a lot of feng shui is proper furniture placement.
Right.
Not creating blocks. So another thing that's a big no-no in feng shui is obstacles. So, for example, if you come home and immediately the dogs greet you, which is fun for some people, not so fun sometimes when you're holding groceries, right?
Right.
And the dogs are jumping on you. But then you have a gate to get into your kitchen because the dogs are there. So now you're creating this like immediate frustration within your home because you have a couple of different obstacles you have to get through. So really finding a way to make your home easy. And that's why clutter is so important, because if you're looking for something and you can't find it, how frustrated does that make you feel?
So frustrated. Yeah. Well, and you know what word is coming to mind? It's one of my most favorite words. It's one of my core desired feelings, and that is flow. And, I think that we can set that intention, right? Like, how can I find flow in my home? How can I find flow in, where my furniture is placed? Because obviously there's a lot to feng shui. I mean, like, people like you are trained in it. And I would say if you guys are really digging that, you should hire someone to come in and give you that evaluation of your home and figure that out. But if you're not there yet, which is totally fine, just thinking about, like, how does this flow? How does this make me feel? Like you say, sit in the room and feel the room and see what would feel better, or if you could change something. And this is the thing. Furniture is the easiest thing to move and to put back if you don't like it. It's totally free to move your bed to a different part of the room. And I love that because it can completely change your perspective on everything.
Exactly. And like you just said too, it's just your body will tell you. If you can just quiet your mind enough to ask the questions, your body will speak the truth, and you can practice this. For example, like, there's kinesiology that you could do, or you can use a pendulum. And just really practicing that yes or no and seeing how your body responds to that, or the pendulum responds to that. Mm-hmm. And just going around your home and just asking, like, does this couch placement suit my soul right now? And if it's saying no, move it around, ask it again. Yeah, it might say yes, it might say no. So you just keep it. It's almost like your home is like a puzzle. Yeah. Right? It's like really finding the proper placement for you. And that's the thing too, is just, with feng shui, like, just really allowing yourself, I mean, you can be your own feng shui practitioner just by getting used to what your body says.
Oh my gosh, I love this so much. It's like decorating, interior design as an inner voice practice.
Absolutely.
I mean,
yeah.
like, that's exactly what you're describing to me. And I can't wait to like go into each of my rooms. And I feel that there are certain rooms in my house where I have been very clear with my intention. Like my studio is one where I'm in right now. My back is to the wall. I can see my door at it, it's sort of diagonal from me. So it's not sucking my energy when it opens. There are things that I love all around, but certainly I have work to do in other areas of my home. And I'm totally inspired now to like, to go through and see what feels right in my body. Oh, Bianca, thank you. Thank you so much for sharing this. This has been such a great conversation. And I would love for you to share with my listeners how they can connect with you, how they can learn more about you and about what you do, and about creating an enchanted living space for themselves.
Absolutely. So you guys can come visit me at enchantedlivingspaces.com. I do have a free course called Home Body Soul Ascension. And you can really jump around in that. But basically, I just created a free course on how to get you started. I have an introduction into energy video. I have decluttering your wardrobe in there. I have, a module on certain plants that are going to ionize the air in your home to make you feel more awake and more happy. So that would be the first step. And just, really always remember just to listen to your body and go with your heart.
Yeah, I love that. And we'll put links to all of Bianca's website, Instagram, social media, and that fun free course in the show notes. And you can find those links right in the podcast app that you're listening to. So, Bianca, I always end by asking my guests the same question, and that is, in your life right now, what is your inner voice asking of you?
Just to be open, just to be honest, and just to be myself, really.
Yeah, and when you do that, you are on fire. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. I am so grateful that you came here today to share your wisdom, to share your voice with us. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you for giving me that space, Kelly.
Thank you again for listening, you guys. I am so grateful for you, and I hope that you can feel me. I hope you can feel my gratitude, not just hear it, but feel it, because without you, it would be really hard to keep doing what I'm doing. So thank you for your encouraging words. Thank you for sharing this podcast with your friends, with your sisters, with your girlfriends and moms. I can't thank you enough. When I see someone take a screenshot and share it and tag me, oh my gosh, that is life. It is life. So thank you to all of you who are doing it. And if you want to help spread the word about In Her Voice, please do that. Share a link, tell your friends on social media, and just get the word out that In Her Voice is a place to grow and to learn and to step in each and every day to your worthiness. Don't forget, you matter. You are making a difference. Every day that you walk this earth, you have a choice. You have a choice to believe in your worthiness. You have a choice to love yourself. You have a choice to be fully and completely you. And when you choose that, you are going to feel fulfilled. You are going to be filled with joy, and you will be living out your purpose. You are worthy.